Good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show on this great Monday morning. Super excited to be on here. And I know if you're watching the replay, let us know that you're watching the replay. If you're catching us live, make sure you engage with us, right? And make sure you bring your drink with us and have fun with us. Who am I? I am the founder of the Women's Institute of Self Development Efficacy, WISE for short, as well as launching my new brand that's an extension of the WISE community. Is called the WISE Alliance Network. So I'm pretty excited. I'm under that brand. So I'm right now revamping, doing some things there where we're going to be doing more things for entrepreneurs, right? That's the goal, is having networking events, providing business intensives, having masterminds for entrepreneurs to get to the next level in their business. That's that. And then, as well as, I also am a real estate investor. For those that are watching and want to sell their properties and need to sell their properties, don't want to deal with agent fees, don't want to deal with inspections, want to close in 30 days and want cash offers, make sure you reach out to me because we can make that happen. And then we have also a running community called Fearless Girls Run, and I'm a mom of three beautiful girls. So that's who I am. I will pass it over to Kim, my co host, to introduce herself.
Good morning, wise community and ladies. My name is Kimberly Montesinos. I am the owner of Crystal Clear Cleaning. We've been in business for 20 years. We provide residential and small commercial business cleaning. I'm also a representative for Melaleuca, which we use their products to clean homes. I love teaching people how to have a more safe environmental space. It's not just about coming in and cleaning. All of our employees are house cleaning tech certified, so they go through a class to get certified to be in the field to clean, because it's a science to clean. It's not as simple as people think. I also got my coaching certification over the summer, and working on the niche of where I want to work with that. And I'm a mom of two adult children, and I love being a part of the community.
Thank you, Kim, for sharing. And then let's go to our guest this morning. If she can introduce herself.
Hello, ladies, and thank you for the warm welcome. I'm Karen Rudolf. I'm from Sarasota, Florida. I do work globally, and I've been in business now since 2007 with my company Tranquil SOULutions, and I'm known as the super stress reliever.
Ooh,
Oh,
I like that
I
title,
do.
super stress reliever. Awesome. So for those that are watching, make sure you guys engage. You know, this is an interactive show. Feel free to chime in, ask questions, and then of course we're gonna go into the whole point of why this show started. And Kim just reminded me, I completely forgot. We used to have coffee chats at restaurants. That
Hmm.
was something that we used to do pre-COVID, and until you told me right now, I completely forgot. So we used to do Wise Coffee Chats in restaurants as evening networking events back in 2019.
Yeah, it was
Um,
2019.
it was
I have to send
2019.
you the picture.
Yeah, you were right because I think I was pregnant. It was 2019, and then I remember from there when COVID hit, we shifted into a virtual
Hmm.
show and started doing a
Right.
coffee chat show online. You are so right. I completely forgot about that. So
Yeah.
why that's why we do this, because every time you meet someone, every time you how many times have you went to a networking event and someone says, "Let's go get a cup of coffee?" It's pretty
Hmm.
like common. That's a common thing amongst the entrepreneur small business world. Why not take that concept and put it in a show, right? um,
Right.
so Kim, if you want to go first, share what you're drinking on the show.
Sure. So this morning I'm starting with a little immune boost elderberry, ginger, and turmeric shot, followed by, as you all know, I love my unification cup, women around the world, all the love. And I have my mushroom coffee.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, that's what I'm drinking this morning. How
Nice,
about you?
nice. Me, I'm drinking. So I got my daughters have an I love you mug. They got it.
Oh,
So I was like, I'm stealing this and I'm just gonna put it up here, just promoting some self love this morning. And I'm actually drinking ginger mint tea this
that
morning.
sounds good.
It is actually very random, but I'm taking an initiative of like doing some more healing things for myself, right? Like trying to cleanse myself, trying to drink things that are better for my body. Even though I love coffee, want to make sure I'm drinking more tea. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
drinking this morning. How about you, Karen?
I'm drinking from my thermal cup because I love it hot, hot, hot. So I'm
Oh,
drinking
I love that.
my mushroom coffee because I find that every time I put it in a mug, I get distracted. And then I put my coffee down and it's cold. So this way it's tall, it's slim, and it keeps it hot. So,
I was
Oh,
gonna
I
say something
love
like
it.
I was gonna say something so inappropriate right
I know,
now.
I
I was like, oh,
know.
tall, slim, and hot.
I know where that was going.
Thank you for sharing, Karen. I love that is a great idea because I tend to always make drinks and then they get cold and
yeah,
then I'm drinking them lukewarm and then it's like, well, I get that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for sharing. We have some ladies jumping on this morning with us. I'm going to share. We have Mary, who's part of our community. Good morning, beautiful ladies. Good morning, Mary. We also have Liza, another member of our community. Good morning, everyone. So thank you for jumping on. Make sure you guys keep chiming in. Let us know what you're drinking this morning. So, Karen, you are what's the name again?
Super
Relief,
stress reliever.
the simple stress reliever.
Super,
I love
super.
that.
Super stress reliever.
Super
Okay.
stress reliever.
All right. So tell us how did you fall into that title? That's my first question.
Yeah, yeah.
Years of experience and years of going through stress and grace popping quickly. But, we all have a story, and it always goes back to sometime in the way back in the past. Mine started when I was small. I always go back to 5 for some reason. I don't know why, but I found that I was always curious as a child, and I would ask a ton of questions. And my dad would be like, "You ask too many questions. Go away. Like, go play. Go play." And the next thing I know, it was like the subliminal message that I was given as a child was, kids are to be seen and not heard, and which translates to not enough or not worthy or whatever we make it mean as children. And we
Mm,
all have a story, and we are mean making machines as humans, so we all make it mean something, right? Whether it's the truth or not. And then fast forward, I went into nursing. And in my nursing career, doctors would say, "Okay, Karen, discharge this patient." And I'd look at the medications and I'd be like, "Well, wait a minute, you're discharging them, but you're masking the symptoms. You're not getting to the root cause."
Mm,
And I'm like, "What's up with that?" And it was like, just do your job and send them home. And I was like, "This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good."
mm,
So I was really being squelched. And at the time, right shortly thereafter, I was going through a divorce. I have 3 children of my own, 3 daughters of my own, and the grown adult daughters of my own. And but back then they were small, and I was very subservient. I was a people pleaser as a result of not being seen and heard, and so everything has cause and effect. Everything is energy.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, in that respect, fast forward, when I was going through my divorce, my children were really small. I have horses here in Florida, and my second horse got struck by lightning.
oh,
Florida is the
Oh.
lightning capital of the world, and at the time, because of my divorce, I was looking for something outside of myself, right? Like most of us do. Right? So it was like, okay, it's everybody else's fault. We're pointing fingers at everybody else, but we forget to look. There are 3 fingers coming back at us. So
hmm
I wasn't ready to be responsible for myself. I didn't know how to be responsible for myself. I didn't even know that was a thing back then. So during that time, I had started looking outside of myself, and I started looking at world religions because I didn't feel like mine was serving my needs at the time.
Mhm.
And I studied world religion, and my spiritual mentor at the time, who I have been with for many, many years now, I'm actually a healing minister as well. And she says to me back when, she said, well, when are you going to own it? When are you going to step into it? Have you looked up the spiritual meaning of lightning strike? And I'm very intuitive. I'm a healer as well. And I said, well, I haven't looked it up because I know what it means and I'm not ready to be responsible. And she laughed and looked at me and said, okay, well, when you're ready, you let me know. And I went, all right, I'll step into it. And if you look it up, it's all about being a messenger in the world. It's all about being a light in the world. And fast forward within 2 weeks of stepping into that, my second horse gets struck by lightning. And the vet says to me, Karen, put him down. You're going through a divorce. It's going to cost you a ton of money to keep him going. We don't know what the prognosis is going to be. And I just remember getting still, closing my eyes. He's inches from my face. I took a deep breath. I flung my eyes open. I said, nope, he's going to survive. Truman and I are going to be catalysts for change, and he's going to live. And the vet was like, oh my God, And I'm like, so whatever it takes, we're going to make it happen. And I
Mm.
just stepped into faith at the time that this is going to be a thing. And my mother got sick right around the same time. And my mother, well, I'm a product of my mother, right? And so my mother had a really low self-esteem. She had low self-worth, felt like she wasn't enough, wasn't heard, wasn't loved. And what do we crave as human beings? We all crave love and acceptance, right? So
Mhm.
she stepped in probably around 70 years of age. She stepped into painting, and she had no one to show her paintings to. She was so far away, and she would call me up, and I'd be like, yeah, yeah, mom, was I'm sitting there with the phone on my shoulder and dealing with my little kids, running around and mom, mom, mom. And one day she calls me up and she's slurring her words, and I dropped everything to go see her. And when I got to her apartment, I found my mother on the floor, curled up in a fetal position. And in the moment, I didn't see my mother. I saw somebody who was screaming for help.
Mm.
And the system that was failing her, she was on 19 medications. And I went, the buck stops here, not on my watch. And she would go to the doctor's office. I have a migraine. Here's a script. And then she would show them her paintings. Ooh, ah, great job. And then 2 weeks later, she'd paint something else. Well, now the medication you gave me is making me nauseous. Well, come on in and here's another script. 19 medications later, I went, that's what being a catalyst for change is all about. So I've made it a life mission to look at our stressors,
Mm.
right?
Oh.
To shift the stories that we tell ourselves because it served us as a child, right?
Mm.
But now we're looking at what the reality as an adult is. Not
Mhm.
to forget our childhood and not to discount it because it's built who we've become today and it's all about the becoming. So I look at those stressors, I shift perceptions around them and look at all these stressors that will shift into a space of well-being because your body's always talking, always talking.
Mm.
It's all energy, right? So if you don't listen, it knocks. If you don't listen, it knocks louder. If you don't listen, it knocks you upside the head when you're flat on your back going, what the heck? Like, with heart attacks and disease and high blood pressure or arthritises. And, so it becomes, how are you going to become responsible for your well-being?
Mm. That's powerful. Thank you for sharing. And you said so your horse survived the lightning strikes.
The one did, the other one
One,
died. Yeah.
the second one survived. How long did he or she live? How long?
He
What?
he Truman, he's still alive today. He's 25 years
Ah!
old, right? The power of word, right? In the beginning was the word. Word is a powerful tool. So what you think about, you bring about.
Amen.
What
Yeah.
you put out there, what you focus on expands. So I put it out there that he was going to survive, and I went through all sorts of I reached out to community because I don't believe we're here to do life alone. And the power of healing energy, right? The power of prayer. I just reached out to everybody. We gave him every opportunity to heal. And now, years later, he's I'd say about 98% recovered from
Mhm.
that lightning strike. He has a little depth perception when he's in a stall, but he's pretty much outside living a great life now. So he and I became catalysts for change. So I would bring clients alongside of him because he became the miracle horse. People came from near and far to come see this like miracle, and I would do a lot of trauma release alongside of him, and he would just hang his head and absorb like all this energy. It was amazing.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I wish my dad loves horses, so I think he would love listening to this conversation. But we
Yeah,
have we have Felix. He said, good morning, Felix, for jumping on.
yeah.
Thank you for jumping on. Yeah, that's so you did trauma healing with your horse. Is that correct? What I just heard?
Yes, up through COVID, I would bring clients alongside and we would do sessions right there with him. And horses are very intuitive. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, on an energetic level, it's like, who are we becoming, right? So when we look at who we're becoming, I've taken on the energy of the horse, right? Because we become one. So for me, energetically, horses represent power, beauty, grace, and ease. And that's what I bring to my people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we become who we say we're going to become. So because I love nature and I look towards nature and I've been so ingrained in his recovery and I see who he shows up as, I've taken on that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a choice, right? Everything is a choice in life.
Wow. So go ahead, Kim. I have a question, but go
No,
ahead.
I was just gonna say I attended by a fluke. I attended um, a retreat, and in the retreat, horses were involved, and I had never interacted. I've gone to retreats where nature was a part of the retreat, and I would see the animals afar, but this particular retreat had us interact with the horses. And you're right, because one of the days of the retreat I was sad, but I have a tendency not to say how I'm feeling because there was a lot of other women who were expressing. And the horse came around
Yeah,
and came to my chair and was rubbing his face on me, like to. And so what the leader said is, he's asking you to speak.
yeah,
It was. I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. And I was like, oh my god! And
right.
there is something magical about them. And I have a cousin who, or my best friend's cousin. You know her, Jennifer, Lisa, that I brought to our retreat. Her cousin lives in Amsterdam, and she has a daughter um, with special needs. And so when she lived here, she wasn't advancing. But when she went to Amsterdam and lived, part of her healing is equestrian healing. And
That's
Luna is so far advanced now working with horses.
mhm.
So so I didn't know anything about what you do. So it's just kind of funny that you brought that up because I'm
Yeah,
learning about you this morning as well. So it is something to be said. I had that experience,
yeah,
and it was really spiritual. It was very amazing. It was really amazing.
absolutely. They're very intuitive,
Mm.
very intuitive. It's
Mm.
like it's almost like they draw it out of you. You can't help but be
Yeah.
up into it. And
Yeah.
they're really gentle. Horses are actually very gentle. It's us as humans that, a lot of cowboys, I'm not saying all, but a lot of people treat them very aggressively and they're going to protect themselves like any animal. I mean, if somebody was coming
True.
with me with a whip beating me, I'd be like, oh, time out,
Yeah.
so,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jennifer. You had a question though. What was your question?
Oh no, I mean, I'm just kind of because this is the first time that I'm getting to know Karen as well. So you got into, you went through a hardship, went through the divorce, realized, recognized your mom needed help. So now as a, professional and you do what you do with clients, like how do you work with clients? That should be my next question, right? Like how do you work with clients, especially if, since you're the super stress reliever? What is it that you do with your clients?
I get to know them. I get related. Some people forget that without relatedness, nothing works, right? So I create a unique program. I do a lot of one-on-one. I do a do-it-yourself thing that I'm actually working on presently that will be out in a couple of months. And I really, Shakespeare said in 1833 in Hamlet, to thine own self be true. When you get to know yourself, you know others, right? You can
Mm,
choose to change for yourself. And so I really get very related with them and I customize, and I'm visual. So I create a map for people and it's very individualized. It's customized to what your needs are. But again, my ultimate coming from a nursing perspective, I'm not doing nursing today, but I've been educated in the mental, the emotional, the physical, and spiritual. So when I look at my clients, I look at the whole. So on my website, if you go to my website, you'll see it says holistic with a W, whole. I'm looking at every aspect of your being, your well-being, because if you don't take care of your being and do something proactive now, you're doing your mushroom, coffee now. You're being proactive for your health and well-being. If you don't do something proactive, it's going to be more of a stressor later, and it's going to be more challenging to start shifting it later than if you are aware of your choices now.
I could see that. I could see how, especially just bringing it back to your point, right? Like we do have short lives to live. Like we don't we might, it might seem like we have all these years ahead of us depending on the age that you're in, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, if thinking about our health, right? Like if we're not taking care of ourselves, how can we really do what God has called us to do, or whatever you believe in, right? The mission that you have,
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
put on you, bestowed on you, right?
Yeah.
How do you even navigate that if you're not healthy?
Or if you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you don't know, right? I mean, many of us have grown up. I mean, I didn't know how to be a mom. It was just like, okay, I was told I couldn't be a mom, and poof, here I am with three. So life happens,
Yeah.
right? How people say to me all the time, like, how did you raise, you're a single mom, how'd you raise three children? You one foot in front of the other, you step into it, you just do it. But along the way, I forgot about myself. I forgot about my needs, and I put everybody else first, right? As a people pleaser, attempting to be seen and heard, right?
True.
Right? I was there like, here, look, I'm doing this great job, and here, let me serve you. And I still serve people, but I've learned to my own boundaries now. I've learned to take care of myself so I can protect my health and well-being because my goal is be around here a long time serving you. And if I can't serve myself, how can I possibly serve anybody else? It's like getting on an airplane. It's always put on your oxygen mask first. We don't know how to do that often, especially in a busy world where moms are working moms now, right? Gentlemen,
Mm-hmm.
the stressors of the stress of work and then, the family and they don't know how, I always say women. I serve women, but men show up all the time. I have one client that I'm working with now out of Hawaii. And he is just such an amazing example of what's possible. He was stressing out, and the stress not only affected his health, but affected his financials, right? Financial is also well being. It goes under the
Mhm.
title of well being. And most people don't look at financial as that. So when we look at the whole picture, we look at the financial as well. Not that I'm delving into your nickels and dimes. I'm not doing that, but it's like look, the awareness, like a raising conscious awareness around it. So Rick ended up. His financials were suffering. His relationship with his girlfriend was suffering, and he was starting life over again. And he was in his late 60s at the time, and he was in Hawaii where it's very stressful because the cost of living is very high. He had people working under him, so he wants to step into his leadership, and his communication was not there. So I taught him how to really step into his power. We created an avatar for him that he chose. And every time he forgets who he is, I remember that he is a champion warrior. And all of a sudden, you just see his state, right? His affect. Oh, he steps into it. He's now not only increased his finances, he's in a rock solid relationship now. He's being a leader, a team manager and leader with his people, and he's getting jobs all over Hawaii. So you don't know what's possible until you seek it out.
Wow, that's
Mm.
awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, Karen. So, if someone wants to get in touch with you, Karen, where do we direct them to? If they want to learn more about your programs and your services, where would they go?
They could certainly email me at Karen at Tranquil Soul, SOULutions. If they go to my website, www.tranquil, TRANQUIL, SOULUTIONS.com, there's a free stress relief checklist there waiting for you, which is complimentary. And it'll at least give you the awareness to check in with yourself. And I have a link there where you can set up a conversation with me and see what's possible. You know, there's no pressure, there's no stress. I'm very laid back. I'm not here to bite, so
Yeah, I get that vibe. I think Jennifer is frozen, so she'll come right back. And where exactly are you? You're in California, you said, right?
no, I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
You're in Florida. Okay.
I'm in Florida. I work
Sarasota.
globally. I do creative problem solving. So when I look at my clients, I look at them from a perspective of because I played with manipulative puzzles as a, so when they
Mhm.
come with me with their challenges and concerns, right, there's nothing wrong. It's like, I meet them where they're at and let's
Mhm.
problem solve it and like get you through that hump really quickly. So,
Got you, got you. And I love that you have the medical background. I love what you said about um, just doling out prescriptions as band-aids to cover up the real problem. That is
yeah.
a big, big problem that's really come to the forefront. I too worked in the healthcare industry. Um, and I chose my cleaning business, and people thought I was crazy when I did that back 20 years ago, because it was said, like, entrepreneurship is becoming, I think, also for the newer generation, more like to have that courage to step into it. But 20 years ago, when I was in the healthcare and I had my cleaning business at the same time, people were like, why would you leave such a prestigious hospital? It's a great job, and go out
Exactly.
and have a cleaning business. But a lot of it honestly had to do with the things that I saw going on in the healthcare industry that just did not coincide with my heart and how I felt as a human, that it
Right.
just was just very dismissive. And that was the first time I looked at the healthcare industry as a business. Not, is it there for us, or is it there as a business? And I was just kind of having this conversation with Jennifer before we jumped on, just talking about different a scenario that happened to me when I was younger. And then,
Yeah.
the thing that happened, that God was so good with me, is she just recently retired. I had an amazing primary care doctor that
Yeah.
had the same mentality of, let's
Get out of here.
she didn't want to she wasn't always doling out prescriptions. She'd actually take the time and talk to me. You weren't just in the office and out. She treated each of us as individuals, and she
Yeah.
knew that I was more on the holistic side, and so she helped me live a holistic life. And at my age, I only take vitamin D, and I think that's because she was also that type of a physician that gave me great alternatives of, like, if I have stomach issues, start eating this opposed to that. So it's just, I love the background that you have and bringing all of that together to help people holistically. So I'm just
Yeah.
so happy that you were able to come on and also meet Jennifer, because I had told Jennifer about you a month ago.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to add a little caveat to what you're saying, Kimberly, because I do a lot of preventative for myself, and I've been doing that for years. But a lot of people don't know what's available to them. They're not their
Hmm.
own advocates, right? So there is a time and place for Western medicine. Right, I had
Hmm.
a major accident in Costa Rica last year. I don't speak Spanish. I understand a little of it, but I don't speak it. And I was riding horses at sunset on the beach, and I went flying off the horse. And I'm not a foreign to horses, the horse had sore hooves. Am I going to be mad at the horse? Absolutely not. But I ended up uh, breaking my femur, fracturing my pelvis, and dislocating my back. I mean, I did not know if I was going to be walking, and I had to surrender to the moment, right? So, one of the things that you had said, being in your health care for the right, people couldn't believe you were doing both. Well, it's like, who are you going to listen to? When you listen to yourself, you know
Mhm.
what's right for you. When I was in Costa Rica
Yeah.
recovering, I knew what was right for me, and I had to trust the system and the program. And I had incredible care down in Costa Rica. Granted, it was a business. Every 3 days, they were coming in with their hand out, going, "Okay, how are you going to pay us?" And it was cash.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like,
It's
there's
cash.
no insurance there, right? So I had incredible care, but I had to trust the system. And because I had educated myself, and granted, because I have a nursing background, yes, but because I had educated and done a lot of preventative work, I knew what my choices were, that I was able to step into it and ask for what I needed and wanted.
Got
Hmm.
you.
Makes a
Wow.
difference. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm back. So I guess with the
Okay.
ring,
I said
the
she
internet got
just,
cut off.
no worry.
It's okay. So where is the email address or website that they can get in touch with you, Karen, again?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
www.tranquil, TranquilSOULutions.com. Tranquil Solutions, body,
Oh,
mind, and soul.
beautiful. So we have that here so that people can see if they need to go reach out to
You,
you.
you spelled it wrong.
Oh,
Sorry.
did I spell that wrong? Okay, I could edit that real quick. Let's.
Tranquil Soul, SOUL, like body, mind, and
Oh,
soul.
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 Okay. So now you guys know it's Tranquil Soul
Lu-
Lucian.
UTIONS. So,
Okay, I hope I did it right this time. I'm like, I hope I did it right this time.
Tranquil Solutions. Yes, you did.
Okay,
Great job.
perfect,
Thank
perfect. So there you go, guys. So you guys can reach out to her if you have any questions or you want more information. I think this definitely was an informative conversation, and awesome. I appreciate your time for jumping on this morning,
you.
Karen and
Yeah.
Kim. And of course, I want to make sure that for those that are watching, you guys know we have an event coming up, right? For those that are watching, just a friendly reminder, we have a networking event tomorrow, and I'm super excited about this. So it'll be out in Lombard, Illinois. We Doors open at 6. Program starts at 6:30. We'll be ending around 8:30. And you guys know I love networking. I have the flyer above me. I might as well utilize the TV screen behind me in the kitchen. Um, but just showing this graphic here, right? We have speakers. Kim's going to be one of the panelists as well. Miguel Paloma, Tony Tilo Lopez, and then Kari Elizabeth Viute. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but we will be there tomorrow talking about networking, how to be a better networker, what are the things that these professionals have done to be good networkers and scale up in their businesses. So that is just my promo for today. For those that are watching, make sure you reach out to me if you want to learn more, register. And yeah, any final words, Kim?
No, just thank you so much, Karen, and thank you for jumping on and being patient and sharing your story. I loved your story and love getting to know you more. Thank you so much for your time. I
Pleasure.
really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great rest of your week and be blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.